rolling.
So is it rolling? Check. It's rolling?
Yeah.
I'm excited about this. Because these are some finds. We have bespoke vintage, original. I'm excited about this because these were real fine. Bespoke vintage, a variety of fine beverages of the valley, of the wineries of Manteca. Zach, what can you tell me, if anything, about the vineyards of the area?
I mean, effectively, they're God's grace, God's elixir on earth.
We will be sampling, and we will be taken back to the days of wine and roses.
Okay, everybody. I'd like to talk about some exciting beverages from the flushest fields of the valley. We got 105.5 the river on. We're coming in hot on Highway 205 on our way back to greener pastures.
It's the river from which we draw the fluid for this bespoke vintage.
I was using my peripherals in the store when I had seen this peculiar water in a can. Normally, I don't mess with fancy containers, but I saw this water in a can and I was like, whoa, I perhaps require some hydration.
That's good because I also forgot the water that I was going to bring.
True. So let's take a look at it. Let's try it. Let's take a taste. I would say, let's take a taste here. It's a very smooth flavor. I would say almost smoky, tropical. It's kind of like barbecue that's been deep fried in pineapple oil. I think it would pair exceptionally well with deep fried tapas in a 4x4.
Ah.
What say you, Dr. Chris?
I believe from the flavor profile you have described, I would pair that with a warm day at the San Jose County Fairgrounds in May or June.
Sounds like an absolutely beautiful thought and style.
So, the ultimate question, does it take you back to days of wine and roses?
Absolutely. It takes me back to the actual days of wine and roses, but it also brings me back to the beautiful jazz standard by Harry Mancini.
Okay. So, Zach, select one of these bespoke vintages for me.
Let me see, my dear man. Would you like me to open it for you so you can savor it?
Yeah. Show me what I got before I imbibe.
We have this vintage brisk.
Okay, so we got some amber coloration. We got some strong labeling. I have fond memories of claymation brisk cartoons, or rather commercials, but they were so good they felt like cartoons.
Dude, I give it a D straight away though because it doesn't fit in the cup holder.
Yeah, that's a trouble of it, but you know we'll see how the flavor profile does.
All right, let me open it up for you. Go for it, my G.
Okay. All right. Plastic bottle definitely feels a little flexible. Sweet hits you pretty fast. Tea kind of comes in later. Definitely has a roundness to it. I would with the 1996 film The Lawnmower Man. Are you familiar?
Absolutely.
I've watched it for the first time this past week. I thought it was a beautiful film. I was very moved by the love story between Job and the woman the young woman who he used to mow her lawn. And Pierce Brosnan's character is...
Pierce Brosnan was exceptional in that movie.
He is the scientist. He's the virtual reality scientist who's been experimenting on monkeys. But then, he reaches his limits with that and he needs to expand. So he begins experimenting with virtual reality to make Job smarter. And Job becomes, he maintains, his boyish charm, but he is able to establish a...
I thought he was able to not only establish but maintain a certain level of innocence.
He really did. And then he takes his beautiful girlfriend, who he's been enjoying carnal knowledge with. He takes her into the virtual reality lab, and they enjoy a carnal encounter in virtual reality.
I mean, in all senses, I would like to say, initially, a carnal encounter is a virtual reality.
It is what perhaps Foucault would have called a heterotopia. I would say that this beverage definitely takes me back to the days of wine and roses. Called Coca-Cola Zero sugar. I've never heard of this before. We're gonna see how this bespoke vintage is. Getting some citrus, getting a little bit of bubbles, very bubbly flavor profile. I know what I think I would pair this with. I would pair this with the classic American soda pop beverage, Coca-Cola. It comes with a red label, and it was invented in the late 1800s as a medical tonic, mostly consisting of cocaine and red wine. And it was designed to make men more intelligent and cure women of flatulence. So that's what I would pair this with. And as for the ultimate question, yes, it does take me back to the days of wine and roses. This is our final vintage. Bespoke Kaisi Dongding Oolong Tea. No sugar added, no artificial flavors, 0 calories. I'm expecting a spicy flavor profile.
Let's take a look.
To our health.
To our health and what's left of it.
Oh, that's gin.
It definitely tastes like some austere alcoholic beverage that's supposed to inspire and evoke memories of suffering. But I kind of like it. It makes you feel good.
Oh, wait, that's tea.
Is it tea? It's pretty spiked. I mean, it's pretty ambiguous can. It could be a little misleading.
It takes me back to the days of wine and roses. Next up for me, the Dunkin' iced coffee, coconut caramel flavor, bespoke vintage. Interesting coloration. I'm expecting a creamy finish.
Aren't we all, my good man?
Aren't we all? I'm definitely getting the bean. I'm getting the aromatics. Almondy. Very almondy.
Really define the flavor?
Yeah. Caramel comes in kind of as an aftertaste. I would pair this with the 1983 Nissan Pulsar, which is not a well-remembered automobile, but it's the closest thing I think you could get to like a store brand version of the DeLorean. You know, like you couldn't afford a DeLorean, so you got a Nissan Pulsar. I would pair that. All right, rolling.
Give me one. So, another fine and defined vintage. Let's see here. Tropical citrus. Drink before February 4th, 1994. Let's see how it is. I get an aroma of a really, really present head, a top-forming style, a top-forming. It's like, it's indescribable. It's really beautiful. It's something sublime. I feel like I'm having a case of synesthesia. Let's take a look. An extremely pleasant, flavorful, robust flavor profile. Highly recommend it.
What about pairing? How do you think this one pairs?
I think it could definitely be wonderful with a little bit of light communism. And I think it'd be delicious with fried rice.
This is a black sugar milk tea, bespoke vintage. I believe the black sugar grows out in Manteca. That's, wasn't bottled there, but one of the primary ingredients is there. So we're gonna definitely smelling the black sugar. It's very rich. It's very, it has that like slight burnt flavor in the fat. Ooh, that's very good. I'm getting hints of honey. I'm getting notes of honey. I was not expecting that. I would pair that with watching Netflix on someone else's account. Whatever you want. Your choice. You choose. Does it bring back to the days of wine and roses? Yes, but only in hints. It's like when you wake up from a dream and as soon as you wake up, you start to forget it. So, solid, but limitations. Turn around, you're good.
So I picked up this beverage on my last trip out. I believe it's from 1987. I remember very vividly because Bruce Willis had hair. Let's take a look at it. I'm not sure what it is. It's got some Korean writing. It's in a really cool green bottle. It has grapes on it. Let me open it up real quick. I'm getting a very enriched flavor profile. It smells like strawberry fields.
Strawberry fields forever?
Very well so, because at this point this bottle is... When are we?
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Are we in 1996 still? Are we? In any case, immaterial. Let's see how it tastes. Very sweet aromas. We'll swirl it around a bit. Take a taste here. Wow. Very defined flavor profile.
How's the bespoke vintage?
This bespoke vintage definitely comes from another place and time. Entirely. I highly recommend it. It's really sweet, but not too sweet. It's really smooth, very sensuous, very supple, very beautiful. I highly recommend it. It's extremely romantic, and it does bring me back to the days of wine and roses. Does it bring you back to the days of wine and roses?
I don't actually know what that means.
Zach, tell me about the days of wine and roses.
The days of wine and roses. I find them a much simpler time, much more evocative, soft, sensuous, supple.
As we travel
As I find myself retracing my steps as a younger man.
into a beautiful place.
Into a beautiful place in time and space. As you can see, like, the water